Have you ever heard of Zulu time in the Army? Well, when I joined the Army, I had no idea what it was either, but I found out the hard way. Let me tell you about it. My name is Ben Jackson, and this is The Art of Doing. On this channel, we are looking to expose you to as many different topics as we can, hoping to spark some interest that you may chase down and become a hobby or even a passion of yours. We talk about all sorts of different topics every week, so make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned. Today I want to tell you about the day that I found out what Zulu time was in the Army. As a nod to my Army days, you can see I'm wearing a Army issue PT shirt, and I've got my green lights out, and I'm still bleeding Army green. I joined the military when I was very young. I was 17 when I went off to boot camp, and I was in the 2nd of the 58th Infantry Battalion in Fort Benning, Georgia, up on Sand Hill. Very, very hot, very, very humid. So a platoon is about 50 men. There's 4 platoons in a company, so you're up to 200 men, and I don't even know how many companies were in our battalion. So whenever you had a road march, you would have your standard BDUs, long pants, boots, long shirt. You'd be carrying your rifle, and sometimes you'd have your full rucksack on your back, 40, 50 pounds loaded. And in a road march, it wasn't what you remember in the Army movies where everybody's tight together, marching in formation. You're spread out along the side of the road, maybe 10, 12 feet in between each soldier, and they're on either side of the road. As you can imagine, a company-size road march is pretty long. You move yourself out to a battalion-level size road march. The line of men stretches as far as you can see in either direction, and it is hot, it is humid, and you are sweating, you're out in the sun, you're on the hard top, and it is difficult. And these road marches can take God knows how long. You could be out there for an hour, a couple hours. And there's only 3 or 4 drill sergeants to each platoon, so they're spread out along all their men, and they're spread out all down the line of this road march. How does this lead to Zulu time? Well, as a young, impressionable 17-year-old, I'm just struggling to stay awake, stay fed, stay alive, and stay out of the drill sergeant's eye as I've got my Coke bottle glasses on and a baby face smile. And so you're marching out along, and these drill sergeants, I didn't think of it then, but these drill sergeants had to have been bored out of their mind. They're marching in their same clothes. They don't have a rifle or a rucksack on, but they are hot, and they are bored, and they're marching along with you. Every so often, and this happened to me early on, a drill sergeant would call out a soldier in his line. If you're close to the front of the line, this is usually when it happens to you. When he'd call you out, Private Jackson, come here. So you'd break ranks out of your road march and kind of double time over to the drill sergeant. Yes, drill sergeant. And he'd say, Private Jackson, go back and ask Drill Sergeant Johnson what time it is. Yes, drill sergeant. So Drill Sergeant Rosen was my head drill sergeant, and he sent me all the way back. So Drill Sergeant Johnson wasn't in my platoon. He was in another platoon, so I had to go many, many men back. And when you're going back against the flow of your road march, you're kind of moving, and you're double timing, as you have to whenever the drill sergeant tells you to do something. So you hump all the way back to almost to the end of the line. Obviously, Drill Sergeant Johnson's the last guy there. And I say, Drill Sergeant Johnson, Drill Sergeant Rosen requests the time. And Drill Sergeant Johnson, he had the scowl in his eyes. Very scary man. And he'd say, Private, does he want regular time or Zulu time? Now, you don't tell your drill sergeant you don't know the answer. So I turn around and I double time back up to Drill Sergeant Rosen. Now I'm going against or with the traffic of the road march. The road march is going this way, and I have to catch up. So this takes quite a long time, in addition to the length of the line of guys. And again, hot summer day in Georgia, not fun. You hump all the way up to Drill Sergeant Rosen, and you say, Drill Sergeant Rosen, Drill Sergeant Johnson wants to know, is it Zulu time or regular time? And he'll give you an answer. Say he says, I want Zulu time. That's what this video is about after all. So, okay, Zulu time. Double time all the way back to Drill Sergeant Johnson. Drill Sergeant Johnson, Drill Sergeant Rosen wants Zulu time. Drill Sergeant Johnson looks at his watch, says, Private, I don't have Zulu time. Go ask him if he wants regular time. You can see where this goes. They're just playing with you, but you have no idea, and you're just an impressionable kid. By the time you're done with it, you're sweating buckets more than you ever did before, and you now know that Zulu time is a made-up thing that the drill sergeants do just to torture the young recruits. They have to pass their time in this road march just as much as we do, and they have the luxury of bossing around some privates. Well, it usually only happens to you once, because once you're in on the secret of what Zulu time is, they tell you, don't tell anybody else what we were talking about, get yourself back in line, and they know not to call on you again to go ask about Zulu time. But they've got 50 other guys they can call on for the next road march, so they're in good hands there. Well, that's my story of Zulu time and how I found out about it. If you're a young recruit and you're joining the Army, I was going to say don't fall for Zulu time, but what are you going to do? Even if you know what it is, it's still going to happen to you. So just roll with the punches. If you're still with us, like this video, share this content, and hang out for some more new and interesting topics. Thanks for joining me. Let's always remember to practice compassion. Let's practice kindness and practice humility. And thanks for staying with me to talk about me practicing the art of doing. There's some great videos over here that you might like. Click here to subscribe. And there's a great playlist down here. Thanks, everybody.